Your life is about to change right here, right now. You're on the brink of understanding something so powerful, so transformative that it will reshape your entire reality. I'm talking about the law of assumption. Once you truly grasp this concept, you'll hold the key to unlocking your greatest potential and creating the life you've always dreamed of. Think about it for a moment. What if I told you that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your assumptions are the very building blocks of your reality, that the world you experience every day is a direct reflection of what you hold to be true in your mind? This isn't some far-fetched idea or new age concept. It's a fundamental truth of how our consciousness interacts with the universe around us. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can my thoughts possibly affect my physical reality? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Quantum physics has shown us that the observer affects the observed. In other words, our consciousness has a direct impact on the world around us. And that's exactly what the law of assumption is all about. Let me break it down for you in simple terms. The law of assumption states that what you assume to be true becomes your reality. It's not about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's about truly embodying the feeling, the emotion, the certainty that what you desire is already yours. When you do this, you align your energy, your thoughts, and your actions with that desired outcome. And that's when the magic happens. Think about the last time you were absolutely certain about something. Maybe it was acing a test, landing a job, or winning a competition. That unwavering belief, that absolute certainty. That's the power of assumption at work. You didn't hope for it to happen. You knew it would happen. And guess what? It did. Now, I want you to apply that same level of certainty to every aspect of your life, your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, all of it. Start assuming that you are already living your ideal life. Feel it in every cell of your body. See it in your mind's eye with crystal clarity. Hear the sounds, smell the scents, taste the flavors of that perfect life. Make it so real in your mind that your body believes it's happening right now. This is where most people get it wrong. They think about what they want, but they don't feel it. They don't embody it. They keep it at arm's length like a distant dream. But that's not how the law of assumption works. You need to bring that future reality into your present moment. You need to live from the end result. Let me give you an example. Say you want to be financially abundant. Don't just think about having money. Feel what it's like to be wealthy. How does it feel to wake up every morning knowing you have more than enough? How does it feel to be generous, to help others, to live without financial stress? Embody those feelings right now. Let them permeate every fiber of your being. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. When you start living from this place of assumption, your actions naturally align with your desired reality. You start making different choices, taking different actions. You become more confident, more open to opportunities. And the universe responds in kind. But remember, this isn't about forcing things to happen. It's not about struggle or strain. The law of assumption works best when you're in a state of relaxed awareness. It's about allowing your desired reality to unfold naturally, knowing with absolute certainty that it's already done. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, but what about my current reality? What about my bills, my job, my relationships? And that's a valid question. The key is to acknowledge your current reality without giving it power over your future. Yes, you may have challenges right now, but those challenges don't define you, and they certainly don't determine your future, unless you assume they do. This is where the rubber meets the road. Can you look at your current circumstances and still hold firm to your assumption of your desired reality? Can you see beyond the apparent limitations and focus on the limitless potential within you? That's the true test of mastering the law of assumption. It's like tuning a radio. Right now, you might be tuned into the station of lack or struggle or limitation, but that's just one frequency. Your desired reality is broadcasting on a different frequency. All you need to do is tune into it. And you do that through your assumptions. Now let's talk about consistency. The law of assumption isn't a one-time thing. It's not about making a wish and then forgetting about it. It's about consistently aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desired reality. It's about making your assumption your new normal. Think about it like this. If you were to suddenly receive everything you've ever wanted, how would you feel? How would you think? How would you act? That's the state you need to cultivate now, not tomorrow, not when things get better, but right now, in this very moment. This might sound challenging, and I won't lie to you. It can be. We're creatures of habit, and our old thought patterns can be stubborn. But here's the good news. Our being is plastic. It can change. It can form new neural pathways. And every time you choose to assume your desired reality, you're strengthening those new pathways. So how do you do this in practical terms? Start with small things. Assume you'll have a great day. Assume you'll find a parking spot easily. Assume you'll have a productive meeting. As you see these assumptions manifest in your reality, your confidence will grow. You'll start to trust the process more and more. But don't stop there. Apply this to bigger things. Assume perfect health. Assume abundant wealth. Assume fulfilling relationships. And here's the key: don't wait for evidence before you believe. Your assumption creates the evidence, not the other way around. Now, I want to address something important. The law of assumption isn't about ignoring reality or living in denial. It's about choosing which reality you want to focus on and expand. It's about understanding that what you consider to be reality is actually just a reflection of your past thoughts and assumptions. Think about it. Everything in your life right now, your job, your relationships, your bank balance, all of it is the result of your past assumptions. Some of those assumptions may have been conscious, but many were likely unconscious. You've been using the law of assumption all along, whether you realize it or not. The only difference now is that you're doing it consciously, deliberately, with intention. This is where your power lies. Once you understand this, truly understand it, you'll never look at your life the same way again. You'll realize that you're not a victim of circumstances, but a creator of your reality. You'll understand that your future isn't determined by your past, but by your present assumptions. Let's take a moment to really let that sink in. You are the creator of your reality, not your parents, not your boss, not the economy, not the government. You, through your assumptions, you are shaping your world every single moment of every single day. Now, I know this might feel like a big responsibility, and it is, but it's also the most liberating realization you can have, because if you can create your reality through your assumptions, then you can create any reality you want. You're no longer bound by what seems possible or probable. You're only bound by what you can assume to be true. But here's the thing. This power isn't reserved for a select few. It's not something you need to be born with or achieve through years of hard work. It's your birthright. It's the very nature of your consciousness. You've just forgotten how to use it effectively. Think of a child playing make-believe. They don't question whether their imaginary world is real or not. They simply assume it into being. And in that moment, for them, it is absolutely real. That's the kind of unwavering belief, that pure assumption that you need to cultivate. Now, you might be wondering, if it's this simple, why isn't everyone doing it? And that's a great question. The truth is, most people are doing it, but they're doing it unconsciously. They're assuming limitations, assuming failure, assuming that life is hard. And guess what? That's exactly what they're experiencing. But you're different. You're here right now. Learning about this powerful law, you're taking control of your assumptions. And that puts you light years ahead of most people. So how do you start? How do you begin to harness this incredible power? It starts with awareness. Become aware of your current assumptions. What are you assuming about your life, your abilities, your future? Are these assumptions serving you? If not, it's time to change them. Next, choose your new assumptions carefully. Remember, whatever you assume to be true will become your reality. So assume the best. Assume that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of all the good things life has to offer. Assume that opportunities are abundant and that success comes easily to you. Now, here's where many people stumble. They make these new assumptions, but they don't feel real, and that's okay. It's natural for your old assumptions to put up a fight. They've been running the show for a long time after all. But here's the secret. Act as if your new assumptions are already true. This is where the real magic happens. When you act as if your assumptions are true, you start to generate evidence that supports them. And as you accumulate this evidence, your new assumptions become stronger and more believable. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you want to assume financial abundance. Start acting as if you're already wealthy. This doesn't mean spending money recklessly. It means adopting the mindset of someone who has more than enough. It means being generous, being grateful for what you have, making smart financial decisions. As you do this, you'll start to notice changes. Maybe you'll find a great deal on something you need. Maybe an unexpected check will arrive in the mail. Maybe a new business opportunity will present itself. These are all signs that your new assumption is taking root. But here's the crucial part. Don't get caught up in looking for signs. Remember, you're not waiting for evidence to believe. You're believing first, and the evidence will follow. Your job is simply to maintain your assumption regardless of what your current circumstances might be telling you. This brings us to another important point. Persistence. The law of assumption isn't a quick fix or a magic pill. It's a way of life. It requires consistent effort and unwavering faith. There will be times when your old assumptions try to reassert themselves. There will be times when your current reality seems to contradict your new assumptions. This is where your persistence comes in. In these moments, double down on your assumptions. Remind yourself that your current reality is just a reflection of your past thoughts. It has no power over your future unless you give it that power. Stay focused on your desired reality. Feel it, live it, breathe it. Now, let's talk about something that often trips people up: detachment. This might sound counterintuitive, but to really master the law of assumption, you need to detach from the outcome. What do I mean by this? I mean that once you've made your assumption, you need to let go of any anxiety or desperation about when or how it will manifest. Think about it like planting a seed. Once you've planted it and watered it, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the process. You know that given the right conditions, that seed will grow into a beautiful. Your assumptions work the same way. Plant them, nurture them, and then allow them to grow. This detachment is crucial because it allows you to stay in the state of having already received. If you're constantly looking for signs or worrying about when your desire will manifest, you're actually assuming that you don't have it yet. And remember, what you assume becomes your reality. So how do you maintain this state of detachment? By focusing on the feeling of having already received. This is where many teachings about manifestation and the law of attraction fall short. They focus too much on the external goal and not enough on the internal state. Your internal state is everything. It's the broadcast you're sending out to the universe. If your internal state is one of lack, of wanting, of needing, that's what you'll continue to experience. But if your internal state is one of abundance, of already having, of being complete, that's when your external reality will start to shift to match it. This is why it's so important to really embody your desired reality. Don't just think about it. Feel it, experience it with all your senses, make it so real in your mind that your body can't tell the difference between your imagination and your physical reality. And here's a powerful secret: your body doesn't know the difference. To your body, a vividly imagined experience is just as real as a physical one. This is why visualization is so powerful. When you vividly imagine your desired reality, your body responds as if it's actually happening. It starts producing the corresponding emotions, hormones, and energy. This is where science and spirituality meet. We now know that our thoughts and emotions have a direct impact on our biology. Positive thoughts and emotions boost our immune system, increase our resilience, and even change our gene expression. So when you assume your desired reality, you're not just changing your mindset, you're literally changing your biology. But remember, this isn't about forcing positive thoughts or suppressing negative ones. It's about choosing where to place your focus. It's about selecting which thoughts and assumptions you want to energize and expand. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't fight against the weeds. That only gives them more energy. Instead, you focus on nourishing the plants you want to grow. In the same way, don't fight against your negative thoughts or current circumstances. Simply choose to focus on and nourish your desired reality. Now, let's address another common question. What about other people? What if your assumptions conflict with someone else's? This is where many people get stuck. They assume that their reality is dependent on others, that they need someone else's permission or cooperation to create what. But here's the liberating truth. Your reality is your own. It's shaped by your assumptions, not anyone else's. When you truly understand this, you'll stop trying to change others or waiting for them to change. You'll simply assume the version of them that aligns with your desired reality. This doesn't mean controlling others or disregarding their free will. It means understanding that everyone in your reality is a reflection of your assumptions about them. As you change your assumptions, you'll notice people responding differently to you. You'll attract people who align with your new assumptions, and your old relationships will either transform or naturally fall away. This brings us to another crucial point: responsibility. Understanding the law of assumption means taking full responsibility for your life. It means recognizing that everything in your experience is a result of your assumptions, conscious or unconscious. This level of responsibility can feel overwhelming at first. It's much easier to blame others or circumstances for our problems. But once you embrace this responsibility, you'll feel an incredible sense of freedom. Because if you're responsible for creating your current reality, you're also capable of creating a new one. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when people start working with the law of assumption: the idea of instant manifestation. You might hear stories of people who assumed something and it appeared immediately. And while this can happen, it's not the norm, especially when you're just starting out. Remember, you're working with energy and consciousness here. Sometimes things can manifest instantly. Other times, it may take longer. The key is not to get hung up on the timing.